Good to see you, Noah.
Hi.
Good to see you, Peter. I saw Peter on the weekend.
So I know we have talked ad nauseum about you flying, but this is a whole new one even for you. So we went to Naples last week for Vinnie to perform.
2 big shows.
Yes, 2 big shows. It was really a super fun time. Patty and Doug came down. My mom and Paul came down. It was super fun. But the morning of the flight, we're zipping around. I've laid out notes everywhere for our youngest daughter, with the babysitter, laying out sports items, everything else. I did all the laundry. I have notes all over about the dogs. What's Vinny doing? Strumming a guitar that he hasn't strummed in years. Just sitting, strumming, not
playing
packing.
a song you happen to love.
It doesn't matter.
I was
Who
trying to-
sits and plays guitar? Even for you, that's a new one.
This is what I
Even for
get
you.
For trying to be romantic, to learn the song Amy by Prairie League because Vicki likes the song. That's what you get. You try and make your wife happy, and you know what you hear? We're going to miss the flight.
Yeah, so then our babysitter and Cassie had to drive us to the airport because we could no longer drive ourselves because we were out of time.
If it's so bad, why don't you divorce me? Now, why don't you cut me loose, and let's see how many women scat me up.
Woo! I know one that would get you like that.
We made our flight, right?
Yeah.
She's
we
awful.
made
She's
our
awful.
flight, and I said to Tabby, it only reinforces your bad behavior. I would like for you to miss a flight.
I've never missed.
Yes, you have.
When?
You and Tabby missed in Texas.
That was Tabitha.
Get out of town. It is
Holy
never Tabitha. Tabitha will wake up on 0 sleep on like 30 seconds, be downstairs and in the car.
I'm telling you that day with Tabitha, and I remember
wasn't.
saying to her,
No, it's never
Tabby,
Tabitha.
you caused us to be late. And she said to me, I'm just like you, Dad. And I was like, this is not cats in the cradle. Just get ready,
No.
for God's sake.
Never Tabitha. It's always you.
Good
always
to be
you.
back. Good to be back.
It is good to be back.
I enjoyed Naples quite a bit. I would love to move to Naples when we're old.
I would love to move to Naples now.
Well, here's the thing. You could move to Naples now.
I could. I love the sunlight. I love how people are always outside doing things.
No, I mean you could move to Naples. Our plan for you to move to Naples, and let me just say the plan before you comment, okay, because I want everyone's opinion on this. All right, I have told Vicki, if we move to Florida, our tax bill in New Jersey would disappear. We know no state income tax, a pretty decent savings.
Yeah.
Now, I said to you, we have to live in Florida 183 days a year, I think.
Something like that,
Something
yeah.
like that. So I said, what we could do is, because we want our child educated in New Jersey.
Right.
So what I said to Vicki is, we'll buy a house down there.
Yeah.
We'll get a paper divorce. You move to Florida. Wait, hear me out. Shake your head no. You give me custody of Cassie.
I'd be dead before I did that.
Will you listen?
Yeah.
Okay, now she would get custody of Cassie to me. Mm-hmm. And Vicki would take all of the income that's in our marriage, our divorced income, and you would make all the money. Mm-hmm. In Florida. Mm-hmm. Pay no income tax. Mm-hmm. Pay me alimony. Mm-hmm. I would have Cassie here. Our tax bill disappears. Meanwhile, we're still married. Mm-hmm. As long as we're not living together, it's legal. Mm-hmm. You live in Florida. Mm-hmm. I live here. Mm-hmm. Cassie stays here. Tax bill cut in half. And Vicki's afraid. She said, "Oh, we'll go to prison. We'll get go." And I said to you, in order to sell it, to make it believable, I'm willing to have a girlfriend.
Yeah. So Cassie would never get anywhere because you'd be sitting there strumming the guitar, doing things. Cassie would literally be home with you every day, all day.
I'm always amazed. Like, you wouldn't have a boyfriend on the side, right?
No.
Well, don't say it like that. I mean, you act like the whole idea is alien. What you mean to say is, no, Vinny, you're perfect, right? And that's why
I couldn't handle another one of you. You're enough to deal with.
Honey, there ain't another one of me out there. Don't worry about that. Okay, it's not like you can swing a stick and hit 10 Vinnies.
Oh,
all right?
no.
Let me say this. I would never have a girlfriend on the side. I love you, which I've said a million times. Note, you did not say, I love you. You said I couldn't handle it on you. Let's just clear up that issue. But also, I don't understand why a guy has a girlfriend. Like Peter's cheating on Mallory. And
do not put that out there.
That was a secret.
I'm teasing Mallory. But I wouldn't want a girlfriend. And I'm not saying because you're annoying, because you're not. I love spending my time with you. But 2 girls would be annoying. 2 girls.
I just don't understand how anyone would have the emotional wherewithal. Like, I understand people that decide that their marriage is over and they're going to live separate lives, but
stay together.
But stay together. Like, we've built this life. I don't see any reason to get divorced. You don't see any reason to get divorced. I'm going to go live my life. You're going to go live your life. That I get. Like, that I totally get.
Well, how is that dramatically different from my fake divorce plan?
Because we still want to be together, jerk.
But we would be together. We're actually, Vicki, the divorce I'm asking for is the divorce of paying taxes to New Jersey. The tax savings would buy your house in Florida. You understand the cohabitating and having a boyfriend, and I'm saying understand the fake not habitating and having a girlfriend. I don't understand. What do you want to add, Peter? I saw you said.
I just wanted to say, you said, Vic, you mentioned the emotional wherewithal of having 2 girlfriends. We had my mom's birthday dinner last night, and we were talking. My dad, his best friend who passed away a few years ago of a massive heart attack, at his wake, he was married with kids, and at his wake, I think 6 or 7 different women showed up and introduced themselves as his girlfriend.
Shut up.
That's why he died of a heart attack.
Some they knew about, and some they didn't. So, like, there were people in the back that were kind of mourning the girlfriends that didn't mention anything, and then one woman from like the deep south flew up and introduced himself to the wife as, "Hey, I'm this guy's girlfriend." She was like, "Oh, well, I'm his wife." Crazy.
Wow.
See, but that's what I mean. That guy died because managing that level of stress, right? Now, when I think about it, I always say to myself, okay, clearly.
When you think about it, I don't even think about it.
No, what I mean is when I think about people who cheat.
Oh, okay.
It's clear to me that I could have several paramours.
I know one paramour that would scoop you up in a second.
Don't go there. Don't go there.
Scoop you up in a second. I'm not going to say anything, but I know a certain 78-year-old.
Oh, my God. You're saying something. Stop saying something. So anyway, that's the other thing, too. Is
she looks at me and the kids like we're just in the way. She doesn't even try to cozy up to the kids.
All right, be quiet. Here's the other thing about having a girlfriend. The girls that are interested in me are annoying. That's the other problem I have. Can't there be one decent girl that says, "Hey, Vinny, if Vicky throws you out, I'm here for you"? That doesn't make me go, ugh.
Yeah. But you know what? But that's also so like a woman, right? A woman scorn. So here are to go back to Peter's story.
Oh, I was going to say, because that woman is not scorned.
No. To go back to Peter's story, it's so like a woman.
Yeah.
Like the guy's dead.
Right.
Like you're just coming to be a jerk now.
Right.
Like to wreak havoc on his life.
Correct.
If you were a secret girlfriend, you're coming just to prove your presence.
You are. You're at that point.
Yeah, you're just being a jerk.
Yeah, at that point, you're coming and you're saying, all right, I know you guys are all upset, but let me add a little fuel to the fire.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't understand that. There is a person in Hackettstown. I won't say what business it is. It's very well known in Hackettstown.
Oh, I know the business already.
Yes,
I know
everybody knows it. So there's a local business in Hackettstown that has been in business because it's a generational business since I was probably, I don't know, it started off very small and it has grown since I was a kid. And someone I went to high school with had an affair with one of the sons that eventually ended up taking over the business, who was like 15 years older than we were.
You're this close to just giving out the damn phone number.
No. But that person never married, never had children, and goes on family vacations with them and still works at the business.
Does the wife know?
I have to imagine she's on the vacation with them.
just the other day in the club, there was a guy and two girls leaving. Mm-hmm. And I said to the guy, because the girls were kind of drunk, and I said, "Is that your wife or girlfriend?" And he goes, "That's my wife and my girlfriend." Mm. And I go, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Shh." Now, could he just be being a jerk?
Yeah. But I mean, this is a legitimate thing that's been going on, because when the girlfriend's father comes to town, the husband takes the girlfriend's father out, does everything. It's well known all among town. Now, back in the day when we were in high school, he had several girlfriends that he had all high schoolers. Nowadays, it would be illegal. But back then, everyone was like, "Oh, okay." And, but yeah, it's crazy. Like, I can't imagine that.
And the girls I saw that were with this guy, both of them were highly annoying. Mm-hmm. And that's really the problem, right? Okay, now you got two girls, same environment, both annoying. They both accept each other. But here's the thing about relationships in general, all kidding aside. You enter into a relationship.
Yeah.
And there's some part of you that must be mitigated. Meaning, if you're like to bowl every night, well, you can't bowl every night. You got a wife or husband now, right? If you're a woman that bowls, so to speak. And I don't know what so to speak means. So you have to give up little parts of yourself, and you gain other parts, but you definitely, like me, what I gave up just recently is staying up all night long. I'm a late bird, and you like to go to bed at 6 p.m.
I do not. You have me up until 11, which I don't want to do. I don't want to do. When you were in Australia, every night, 9:30, I was in bed. I loved it. I was so productive the next day.
11 o'clock, the crazy train's coming through. No, but you know what I mean. Like, I'm more of a late night guy.
Yeah, you are.
And you have given up sleep to me.
Yes.
Right? Because you stay up till 11, and you like to be in bed earlier. And by the way, not because I'm getting older, although that's true too. I'm starting to like the early bed, early rise thing, even though I don't get up as early as you, right?
You're just so much more productive.
Well, you know what it is? I like the sun coming up. Yeah. I like all that shit.
The world is quiet in the morning. The world is quiet. You can think. You can get things done. You're not interrupted. You can sit and think. And when you were in Australia, I was going to bed every day by 9:30. Up every day by 5:30.
Okay, take it easy, Tony Robbins. Let me finish my point about just finish my point. The point is, if you have two significant others, you got to give up, because you're not going to give up the same shit.
No.
Right? In other words, this one doesn't want you to bowl. That one doesn't want you to scrapbook or whatever.
No.
So I don't understand it. I don't get it.
Unless, like that guy, there's a common thing now. Not common, but I mean, it's more acceptable, I guess, to have a throuple now.
A what?
A throuple.
A throuple?
A throuple. Where you're in a relationship with 3 people.
They call that a throuple, and then the other word is a paramour. No. It's
No, when it's accepted by all, it's called a throuple.
Sounds to me like you've done a lot of research.
No. I read a lot at night, and then I've read a lot about things where they bring somebody else in. And Polyamorous, yes. But I think like when they're in a committed relationship.
It's a throuple.
And, but I think that's vastly different than having a side boyfriend or girlfriend. I mean, I wouldn't want that either, because I think that would be a whole hell of a lot of work.
Well, first of all, in a throuple, things become complicated. For example, a throuple has to end in a murder-suicide. Can't just be a murder-suicide. You first have to become a mass murderer. It's awful.
Yeah.
So we got a lot to go.
We do.
And by the way, just know, if you do have a boyfriend, I would do the fake divorce thing.
Oh, okay. And when would I have time for this boyfriend? Because we're always together.
Well, I hope you don't need a boyfriend.
No, but when would I? Like, when would I?
Again, it sounds like you've thought about it. It sounds like you've got a day planner somewhere going, I just can't get it in. I just can't. I can't get my teeth cleaned, and I can't have a boyfriend. Wednesday is packed. Jesus Christ. I'm looking it over here. It looks like Thursday, but it's going to have to be fast.
No.
Okay.
All right. So I want to jump into this Disney thing.
Disney or the Rachel Dolezal?
We will get into the Rachel Dolezal.
Okay, Disney first?
Disney first.
Love Disney. What are they saying here?
Casino.com found that Walt Disney World is at the top. They called it scammy.
Yeah, the word scammy was used.
The word scammy was used.
Yeah. The biggest ripoff in America is what they're saying.
The biggest ripoff in America. So since 1971, the one-day admission prices have increased by 5,157%. And that's just got to be an average because on certain days, it's even more.
Yeah, so that was going based off of the President's Day prices, which was like for the lowest ticket admission on President's Day was $184.
Right. Okay.
So while Vicky's talking, let me just ask for a quick research. Please research for me the general increase in pricing from 71 to today. Go ahead, Vicky.
So
Across all. You know.
So in 2017, it's gone up 44% since 2017. Now, the reason why I wanted to talk about this, I'm in a Disney Facebook group that I joined a few years ago when we were going to Disney. And we've gone to Disney a lot. A lot. And the average cost for a family of 4 or 5 now is anywhere between $8,000 and $10,000 for a trip to Disney.
For how long?
A week.
I mean, I think if you take a cruise, you're spending that.
No.
Look up a week-long cruise for a family of 4, Peter.
I think
while Vicky's over here.
No, because I look up cruises all the time too.
But yes, you can have a cruise for less. Meaning, but if you cruise in peak season, it's $2,000 a week.
I think you can do a family of 4 for a cruise for like $3,000 or $4,000.
So the first thing I found on cruise prices, 3 to 4 night Caribbean cruise can start around $2,800. The most popular 5-night options around $7,700.
Is that for which cruise line?
Caribbean.
Yeah, see, I'm telling you. But here's the thing too. That does include your food.
It includes your food. This only includes, so for $8,000 to $10,000, which some people, if you stay at like some of like
Vistana,
or if you stay at like Pop Century or something
Right.
like that, you can do it for a little cheaper. But that's really what the going rate is.
if you stay on a Disney property.
Even if you don't, though, like when we go, I try to save money by us staying in our timeshare.
I have never witnessed you trying to save money on anything.
That's not true.
Vicky, you are a spendthrift.
I am not.
Oh my God. Okay, so listen to me. Let's get back to Disney and then we'll bitch about you in a minute.
Okay. So, but now they added that, when we went again, so there's no longer the Fast Pass that's free.
Right.
You have to get the Genie Plus and then the Lightning Lanes.
Mm-hmm.
And they go on certain times. And it's just very expensive now. So,
it's expensive. But first of all, a survey on casino.com is calling Disney a ripoff. You go in a casino, it's a complete ripoff. They parade, they give you cheap liquor at the table, they keep you liquored up. If you win a lot of money, they delay you leaving. I don't trust anything from casino.com.
Well, I've never even heard of casino.com, Peter.
The casino.com just did a survey, I guess. So they had, I think it said they did 500 respondents to a poll they posted, and then I got that survey off of a Disney Insider website.
A Disney Insider
And
website.
to me, this is a casino organization.
Right.
Trying to tell people to go to the casinos instead of Disney. Because, listen, first of all, think about who goes to casinos.
Right.
It's older people, their kids are grown. Of course,
Right.
Disney looks like a ripoff.
Right.
I can tell you that some of our greatest family vacations,
Oh, definitely, hands down. Our kids love going to Disney.
Disney is awesome.
Yeah.
Everybody walks around, everybody's happy. The guy that scoops horse shit on the Disney parade, he does it with a smile.
He does do it with a
Hey,
smile.
I got some horse shit in my thing here. Listen, Disney is expensive.
Yes.
But I don't think it's expensive relative. I think the county fair is more expensive. If we take our kids and we go on 6 rides each, at the fair, I think spent $109. Mm-hmm. I think each ride $10 or thereabout, right?
Right.
You got a Point Pleasant Boardwalk. I mean, you're going on a ride. The guy's got death to all tattooed on his neck. Mm-hmm. Okay, the scrambler hasn't been inspected in 16 years. All right, you see rusty bolts flying out. They just no. Disney to me at $109.
I don't think it's $109 though.
Well, that's what they're starting at. A starting price.
Yeah, I think it's like $150 now.
Dude, look at that, Peter.
The bare bones package that I saw. Or bare
What,
bones, like admission to Magic Kingdom. On
The day that no one's going?
Pretty
Because
much,
yeah, because I just took the whole family last April, and I'm positive it was like $159 a day.
Okay,
and that's for Cassie too, who's I was 10 at the time.
And let me tell you what you got to do with Disney.
Yeah.
Because here's where the quote unquote ripoff is.
Right.
Here's the ripoff. If you pay $109,
Right.
you should be able to get on 60% of the rides in a day.
Right.
And you can't.
No, you can't.
You can't. That's the problem with Disney, is how do you make it move? Now, we make a move, we buy the guide.
Well,
But that's expensive.
Right, but the days that we do the Genie Pass, thank God we have Kate, my friend Kate.
Unbelievable.
Because she's really good at the Genie Pass. And even though she was on vacation, she was texting me what rides we were going to go on to next.
We have a friend.
Yes.
Kate. And I'm like, Vicki, who are you texting? Because she's nonstop on the phone. And Vicki goes, if we leave right now, we're going to walk right onto Star Wars. And we walk right onto Star Wars. If you leave right now, you're going to walk right onto Magic Mountain. I'm like, Vicki, who the hell?
You have to have a friend that's really good at it. If you're not good at navigating the ins and outs of it yourself, which you have to know, like all the rules of one time you could do things. And if you're not good at it yourself, you need that friend to do it. Otherwise, like you see on the Facebook pages, like we got on 3 rides. It was a waste of $2,000 for the day, blah, 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 blah. And people are pissed off.
Well, I can tell you, I thought you were on the phone with Michael Eisner. That's how well it was done.
Yeah,
whoever the
she's
new
so
CEO
organized.
is. Who's the CEO again now that you brought him back?
It's
Bob Iger.
Yeah, Bob Iger.
Bob Iger. So to me, if you go to Disney, you gotta just bend over, pay for the guide.
Yeah.
Jim Breuer taught us that trick.
Right.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, it's expensive.
Yeah.
But what I do when we do that guide, I lock my brain up, and this is what I say to myself: the frustration of the line is more costly than the guide.
Well, you also, if you do the guide, which we've done the guide now several times, if you've been to Disney before and you know what you want to do.
Right.
So we'll hit 4 parks in one day.
One day.
So we buy 1 hopper pass.
Yep.
And then
Guide pays for himself.
Right. Then the guide. So instead of me being frustrated for 4 days.
Yeah.
Going 4 days, we hit it all.
Yeah.
We hit it all, and you got to move. Now, my poor mom, it was a 15-hour day the one day.
Yeah.
She was tired. But we did it.
Can I tell you something? You know who the trooper that day was? Paul was a trooper that day.
He wasn't with us.
That's why I'm saying the trooper. He stayed home and didn't anchor us down. So I'm going to say this about the guide, too. All right. The best part about the guide is looking down on other people. You just walk by. Some of those guys, you go in the back door.
Yeah, it depends on the guide.
Oh, that's great.
It depends on the guide and the guide's relationship with everybody.
We owe the guide information to Jim Breuer.
Yeah, we do.
Jim Breuer has guided us to some great vacations.
Yes, he has.
And I'll tell you right now about Jim Brewer's girlfriend. She is a nice...
Oh, stop.
That's a joke, D! Jim is like me. Jim and I are like...
Yeah, you're very
Jim
close.
said to me one night,
What?
we're in Africa. We sit there having a drink. And Jim goes, he's just out of the blue. There's a quiet moment. He goes, we got lucky. We married good women. He goes, Vicky's a good woman and Dee's a good woman.
Oh, that's very nice.
I looked him right in the eyes and I said, wow, Vicky's a good woman. I love Dee.
Now you loved it. Yeah, Dee's amazing.
Dee's the only one that can control Jim.
Oh.
Dee is the only one that can control Jim. And she really can't control him. She can just kind of tether him a bit.
I think she controls him.
Well, I don't like Jim saying him.
Yeah. So let's move on to Rachel.
Let's finish this real quick.
Oh, I thought
we're
we were
almost
So according to the, and I'm terrible with numbers, but it says $1 in 2024 could buy 13% of what it could buy in 1971. So I don't know.
That's
Couldn't you just
complete
look up?
horseshit?
Couldn't you just look
And
up
that's
what the
not-
price was in 1971?
Of Disney specifically?
Yeah.
That it said it was $2.50 for an adult, or $3.50 for an adult pass. That I know.
It was $3.50.
To
Okay.
get into Disney?
Yeah.
Okay. Google this stat. What the average home in New Jersey cost in 71, average home in 2024. And let's see what the rate of inflation is across that. And Vicki, you don't think the dollar is 13% weaker? For Christ's sake, it's 13% weaker this week.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know that stat.
I know my father built our home in 1968. And I think he paid all in, property, everything. I think he paid 50, 60 grand.
Wow.
My father I saw a pay stub. I have a pay stub. I showed it to you.
I found it with you.
Yeah. He was making $13.50 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the overtime rate.
Yeah.
So he was making like $9 an hour, and the overtime was 13. And he was a high-paid union theme fitter, for Christ's sake. What is it?
So average price of a home in New Jersey in 1970, 1971, $23,400.
$23,400.
So you had a Shangri-La.
Yep. And, no, he probably didn't pay what I said then. I'm probably high. And what's the average price today?
I'm going to say $350.
I'm going to say it's $400.
Yeah, these numbers look low. Let me find another site.
What?
I think that because they average out the whole state, because a lot of home prices in New Jersey, I mean, even...
What did they say the average is?
According to Zillow, the average home value in New Jersey is $497,292.
Yeah,
I
that
believe
seems-
that.
yeah.
Around the
So,
past 90
so you have 500,000, Peter. 23 to 500,000. What's the increase? What is the percentage increase? 23,400 is to 500. What blank is over 100? That's how you do the math. I have to explain it to Peter because he's a college student. The kids don't understand the basic math.
No.
I could do the math. I could do it in my head. I think I know the percentage.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Although that may not be right because I have to add 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. Maybe 200. No. Yeah, 2,000%. 2,000%?
2,000%.
Huh?
2,073%. Yeah.
I did that in my head, Peter.
Wow.
All right, that's 2,000%, and Disney went up 51.57. But Disney, in the last 5 years, has added significant improvements to the park. Star Wars was added to the park.
Right.
The
But that's all extra, though.
Tron.
Right. I mean, so much of it is extra. You have to pay extra for it.
Stop hating on Disney.
I'm just saying. I'm just
Well,
saying.
you're-
All right, so let's move on to this because we've already been going now for 40 minutes.
I'm sorry, Vicki.
Well, I'm just
Rachel Dolezal, we know her as Rachel Dolezal, the would-be African-American woman who got fired from the NAACP.
because she pretended to be black, but she was really white,
Right.
and she pretended that she was a black woman,
Correct.
and she has changed her name now to, how do you say her name now?
Nkechi Diallo.
Okay. And she was working as a teacher, correct?
Yeah, she's a substitute teacher and after-school teacher in Arizona.
Okay, and then she got fired because she has an OnlyFans page. But, I mean, if you're just a substitute teacher,
No, you're wrong.
I don't know. I don't know.
You're just dead wrong. Sometimes
know.
there's no debate. I don't need to hear a teacher, a coach. They have to be held to a higher standard because you're influencing young minds. Okay, so the last thing you need is some teacher who's walking around in Gucci's and the kid says, "How'd you get those Gucci's on that shit salary? All we ever hear is you have a shit salary and you have Gucci handbag." Psst. Hey, just tell your dad about my OnlyFans page. Okay, you have to have a standard. There has
Well,
to be a
what
moral
is
standard.
what is the direct violation of the school's use of social media by district employees? What is that supposed to mean? What is that policy?
So I'm going to get the exact wording here. It said that the policy says school employees cannot communicate online in a manner that's unprofessional or would significantly and adversely impact their work-related reputation.
Case closed.
Well, I mean, you're not talking about racism.
Oh my God!
I'm just saying that. I mean, was
Do you have an OnlyFans? Do I not know something? This is morally not acceptable. You can't be teaching kids.
Well, I'm guessing it's little kids because it's after-school programs.
It doesn't matter. If they're high school kids, it's arguably worse.
That's a good point.
Children, I'd love to go over your English assignment, but last night I was having a threesome on camera and I'm just worn out. You can't.
Well, no, because these children shouldn't be on OnlyFans. So, like, if you were publicly spouting racism,
no.
If you were publicly spouting your political views,
if you're publicly spouting your vagina, no.
But no, it's behind a paywall, though.
No, listen to me, Vicki. Hear me out.
I'm just saying.
What you're saying is so wrong that I'm seriously thinking of calling my girlfriend right now and going, this has got to stop. Listen, you send a child to school and you tell the child, this person in the front of the room is going to educate you and mold you and teach you. I entrust you, teacher in the front of the room, to help mold my child. Now, if what I just said is true, then there has to be a moral code that you follow because they are going to emulate that child. Listen, let's flip the script just a touch. Let's say the teacher, on their own time, is a pedophile. But the teacher says, I'll never touch a kid in this school, just something I do on the side.
Oh, well, that's vastly different.
It's not vastly different. It's different, and I know that I'm saying it different.
Oh, it's vastly different.
Okay. I sell drugs, but I'll never sell to an underage kid.
Well, that would go against their code.
This is against the code.
Because it's illegal. Selling drugs is illegal.
Okay.
Having an OnlyFans isn't illegal.
Listen, are you telling me that if Cassie went to school tomorrow and the dicey little former African-American teacher at the front was, teaching your kid, and then all through the district you heard, by the way, Nkechi Diallo? Well, she used to be Rachel Dolezal, and before that she was white. And she...
Well, I think, listen, I mean, did they know who they were hiring, even though she had a new name?
That I don't know. It wasn't really clear in any of the articles I read, but she publicly changed her name in 2016, so I have to imagine that they knew who she was.
Right, and that's the first red flag for me. Because if you knew you were hiring someone that was unhinged, who had to pretend to be a whole other race and a whole other life and a whole other, she made up a whole new background for herself. That's the first problem that I would have, that they hired her, because I wouldn't want her teaching my child.
So the fact that she has a fantasy life where she's someone else, and you, the same person that says furries are okay, now suddenly this woman who pretends to be black, it's bad she pretends to be black, it's okay if she was a black raccoon?
Well, if she was a black raccoon and you're a child, like, teenagers are still, their minds aren't established. Their minds
You are the
aren't
slippery slope that is America.
No,
that's what you are.
No, but she's a grown woman who's pretending to be black, pretending to have this other life.
So a grown furry cannot teach?
No.
Okay, but a grown pornographic producer, Larry Flint, can teach. Hey, children! Children, all right, everybody. Watch what I can do. I'm sorry, you're out of your mind.
No.
Would you allow Hugh Heffner to teach your children?
No.
Okay. Would you allow Bob Guccione to teach your children?
I don't know who that is.
Publisher of Penthouse Magazine. Larry Flint.
How do you know who that person is?
Everyone knows who Bob Guccione is. I have a poster of him in our room. Listen, Bob Guccione was there was Hugh Heffner, who was the classy porn producer.
Right.
And then there was Guccione, who took it to a lower level. Larry Flint was Hustler.
I only know Larry Flint because of the movie, the Woody Harrelson movie.
Okay, but Larry Flint was famous. He was
Right.
always in the news.
Right.
Would you allow Hugh Heffner to teach your kids?
Only if it was a business course. I mean, clearly he knows his business. Why are you staring at me like that?
Let's talk about women in the workplace and how to get ahead. First thing you girls need to do is lose the bras. Lose the shirt. Do this with your lips. You're out of your mind.
I'm not.
You're out of your mind.
I just can't believe she was hired in the first place. To be honest with you, I just can't believe that she was hired in the first place.
Let me tell you something. The magic trick of Hugh Heffner, was a Hugh Heffner built the Playboy magazine in Hollywood.
Right.
And he built it there because that's a hotbed of debauchery anyway.
Right.
And so he was able to get all these Hollywood elites to go to these parties. And now you saw whoever, Clark Gable. And Clark Gable is a movie star, and him going to Playboy makes it okay for me to go to Playboy. The genius of Hugh Heffner was to mainstream porn. And then the genius of Larry Flint was to go as sleazy as humanly possible in porn.
Right.
And Bob Guccione, I don't know, I guess he married the two and met it in the middle somewhere. But you wouldn't have any of them teach your children. You have to have a moral, there has to be a base.
Yeah.
Right? So pot's legal. I'm sorry, if I was a superintendent in school and you came in for an interview reeking of weed, I ain't hiring you.
No, I wouldn't hire them either.
It's legal.
Yeah, I wouldn't hire them though. But
it's
I
legal.
wouldn't. I also wouldn't hire if you came reeking of alcohol either.
I wouldn't hire if you had cigarettes on your breath.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hire if you smelled of alcohol. I wouldn't hire if you have a tattoo. I won't hire
All
you.
right. Well, you're not.
I won't hire you. I would teach everybody myself if I ran the district. Everybody in the auditorium, let me tell you right from wrong. This is wrong. She deserves to be fired. Look this up because this is one of his questions. Did she do it to get fired? I'll bet you anything her OnlyFans shot through the roof. I'll bet you anything. That's what happened with what's-his-face's daughter.
Charlie Sheen. Yeah, Charlie Sheen's daughter. Charlie Sheen's daughter,
right. And by the way, her OnlyFans page stinks.
Oh, stop.
It's spring. The weather's great. I'm going to encourage all of you. I want to shoot a, what do they call them? Not inspirational. What are those videos called?
A TEDx talk?
Not a TEDx. You tell people how to live a life, how they're screwed up.
A Vinnie X talk?
A Vinnie X talk. I want to shoot a Vinnie X talk and tell people how to live their lives.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people doing it wrong. Right? And you think I do it pretty right?
I think sometimes you're a little too strong opinion.
Well, why don't you just go fuck yourself? All right, we love you guys.
Bye.